You're live.
All right, we're back on. I think there was a glitch in the recording, but we caught that, took a bathroom break, and we're back. Minus a couple people had to leave, but,
How old is it? Supplemental fee or?
Are we working on probation or prosecutor?
I think we're talking probation.
So it says it can be used to supplement the salary of probation officers in accordance with the schedule adopted by the county fiscal body under 36-216-5. Transfer.
My only thing with it is if it's possible to budget money, it would make more sense to budget the money they have and free up even the 190 that we get reimbursed, which is great. But that would free up at minimum 190,000 out of these other funds
Well,
back into general.
reimbursement's not the proper way to do it.
Not the proper way to do it, is what we've discovered,
Yeah.
and so we need to fix it.
Well, I think you can go about this one of two ways. I think that you send it back to Judge Mount, or I guess Scott, if that's who Judge Mount has, because probation departments are run by the court. Ultimately, they're responsibility of the court. So I think the way to do it is to send it back and say, we're not gonna do a general fund until you also appropriate these other things. That way, we're not guessing as to what they need, but they need to appropriate the funds. It says it can be used to supplement the salaries of probation officers in accordance with the schedule adopted by the fiscal body. I think the best way to do it is just say, hey, we need, I don't mind making a call to Judge Mount saying these need to be appropriated. Everybody, the same with anybody who has multiple funds. Every fund needs to be appropriated. We need to quit moving money
You
around.
want to see if Judge, if he's here, and see if he wants to come out and talk to us?
I can, yeah.
Just go ahead and get it done if he's here.
I'm a rock, but if we take this fund, is it the money comes in, money goes out of it? Is that how?
When the money comes in, it gets reimbursed back to the general fund.
Are you in the courthouse?
So what we're saying is,
I'm understanding using it for the probation
okay.
department. I understand
Would you
that.
want to come discuss probation user fees with us?
I just
in
want
that
to know
fund?
if,
Or would you rather
is
Scott
there
come down and talk about it?
190,000 in it now? And then we budget out of that. And by the end of the year, it's going to have 250,000 in it. I'm trying to figure
Well,
out a continual fund. And nobody's listening to me. That's okay. Nobody listens.
Well, we're just talking about if it's better for us just to say this is what we're paying out of it, or just send it back and say, well, look, we need all the funds appropriated and budgeted, and before we budget anything. And letting him do the budget from the user fees as well as what he's asking for from general.
Get the headache.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that it would be appropriate, since we're in a budget crisis, to intend to spend as much as he can on those funds, as much as, because the receipt should be pretty flat and stable. It's gonna have some arc to it, but it should be pretty flat and stable. But yeah, every other county is using those probation user fee funds for, probation officers and the cost of stuff. So I think what's happening is that we're seeing at the end of the year, everybody doing these fund transfers and line corrections, and that can't be happening anymore. So that's one, inefficient, and two, it's not the proper way to do it. So we want to make sure every fund is being, it's not just, we're not just picking on probation. Every fund needs to be that way. So. Okay, so would you like us to have Scott come down, or would you want me to wait? Okay.
We're getting salary out of that. Like, answer one question.
Okay. Well, do you, well, we're looking at what's actually spent out of the fund, what was appropriated last year, what was having to be additional appropriation. So they're looking at those kind of things. Do you want me to see if we can have a time for you and Judge Hauser to come back down at some point and go over the final numbers, or? Uh-huh. Okay. 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 Lots of things before my time that are just changing because I'm just like, oh yeah, why are we doing it this way? Causing a little bit of bumps.
So basically, we're not gonna That's fine.
Got it. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Bye. He said we can talk to Scott about it. He's gonna be out till this afternoon. I don't care if he just wants to Scott an email. I think that's probably the best way to handle it is, you know, what he asked me was, are you wanting him to budget the whole amount or just, I'm like, we're in a budget crisis. We need to budget as much as we can between the two funds. We need to have,
So,
you know, we need to have those funds need to be budgeted.
so really with the recovery court, with the highway, now maybe with probation, what numbers that we did in the workshop on Saturday is gonna be maybe either less or more when everything gets figured out. And I don't think this body's gonna meet again until not this coming Friday, the next Friday, whatever that day is.
And I will be out of town, just to let you know.
The 19th.
I'm on a plane on the 19th and I love you guys, but you can text me.
So here's what I have
Nothing.
saying,
I need a break.
saying hello to Jason Mount, Scott Poole, for the 2026 probation budget. Hello, we, the county council, would like to request you take another look at the 2026 budget. We would like to see the budget forms for the additional funds such as user fees and others that are have historically been used as reimbursement funds. Those will no longer function as reimbursement funds and will be budgeted moving forward, as that is the proper method for county funds. Please update the auditor's office with Form 1 budget form so we can utilize the funds available to your department without any or many cuts to you or due to current budget or crisis. After we get these, we can properly budget your office for the 26 year. That sound fair?
I guess what I'm asking is these accounts, they've got a dollar amount in them right now.
Yeah.
Okay, they change all year long, right? I mean, that doesn't stay the same amount of money.
Yes.
I mean, there's money coming into that account all year long.
Yes, anytime anybody is on probation, they pay a user fee. And the statute
Okay,
breaks
that's-
down how much goes to the clerk, how much comes here. You know, I mean, it breaks it down. It's, you know, $100 and 50 goes here, 50 goes there, whatever. And it goes into that fund. So yes, as long as there are people on probation,
Yeah.
which historically there isn't, I think you heard me tell Judge Mountain, there might be an arc an up and down flow, but generally it should be baseline every year.
So
This
like-
is what you're bringing in. I think this fund has been accumulating though, so it might be, I mean, I don't know that you're gonna be able to do this every year, but I think that that's also on the department head to tell you, okay, I know that I generally will get 100,000 in reimbursements or disbursements every year for probation user fees. So I'm going, maybe right this year I have 200,000 and I'm gonna budget at the 100,000 a year.
Yeah.
So that way it can sustain every year. If we say, no,
So
you
like
gotta budget everything that's in
this one
there,
here,
you're not gonna be able to sustain it.
this particular fund is the user fee, so yes, it accumulates money
All year long.
But he generally reimburses the county at the end of the year $110,000. It has 190 in it now, and you got 3 more months to go.
But if we take the 110 and then we can budget it toward his budget, is what you're saying.
Then we
And
don't
then
take,
we're not deleting the account.
I think that
for amount.
I think that if he is reimbursing, which reimbursement can happen in some instances, but not without, I think this is my frustration. I'm sort of like, I can't care more than you guys do. You're elected officials and you guys were elected by people to do a job and you're not being allowed to do your job because of these line corrections and all this other stuff. So if he's reimbursing 110,000, first of all, that should be done properly through this body. It's not being done that way. But obviously he has 110,000 in that fund that he's using every year. Why not just budget it? Because it's causing Jennifer's office a hell of a lot of work at the end of the year to say, okay, we're gonna rebudget and remove all these
that, and you're
lines and
signing
go
up
here and there.
110
And,
out of general
right,
Well,
to this,
that you
and
could
then
use for
getting it
bonuses.
back.
and the
that you
dire
can use
straits we're in right
whatever.
now, first 190 there, he's reimbursing 110.
He's already reimbursed 110 this year, right? So he's reimbursed his 110 this year.
They
and
got-
there's
we-
190 left, so that was
Well,
300,000 that there
we
was.
need to be budgeted more like about 180 or 90 of that. That is budgetable money for and the.
What were his receipts coming in this
I-
year? Do we know? I mean, we've got 60,000, or no?
Well, I'm saying is, can you budget money that isn't there?
No.
Like if you can't budget $180,000.
So far, he's brought in 91,274.
So I think 100 or 110,000 is a lot. You don't want to be,
You don't
because he's
wanna-
got a surplus, you don't want to be asking him to budget more than what his traditional receipts are. Does that make sense? So if he's bringing in
That's what I'm
110,000, why, I mean, maybe say 130 to sort of spin down some of that,
Well, my thought process would be.
but
would
you don't
be
want to
like,
consistently do
If
that.
I always give 110 out of this particular fund,
Mhm.
but then next year I want to buy a new desk, then I could come in here and budget my 110 and then new desk at $5,000.
Right.
And that comes out of your overages. Or 10 years from now, the overage grows so drastically that you could budget 150 or 200 and not touch your reserve a little bit. That would be fine.
And
But
also it's a new
the
thing, so you
whole-
might want to dip the toe in and not be too heavy handed on him. I know we're in a crisis, but I don't think it's
That's the way it
sustainable to
needs
say
to
we're
move.
gonna budget 190,000. I don't think it's sustainable if he's only bringing in 110 a year. Pay maybe a little bit of the.
same way
overage,
with
but-
this fund. This is drug and alcohol.
Right.
They reimburse 60. They brought in 36 for this year so far, and they are at 74. Well, if you do your 60 reimbursement as a budgeted 60 for 26, there's no difference. That's exactly, and then you leave your
But-
14,000 there.
Here's my question. Look at this, receipts and disbursements. So his expenditure came out of that fund of $60,000 on January 31st of 2025. Was that prepaying for this year? Or was that reimbursing for 2024, which also shouldn't happen because now we might have you understand what I'm saying? Because
Right.
now we have a $60 payment out of the general fund. We can't really, I mean, we're recouping it for 2025, but we could have used it.
Yeah,
Okay,
and that just,
my
that
brain's
is-
already gone this
that's
year.
my
This
frustration
morning.
is overall, between all of his funds, he reimburses 190 total. So if you were just to use these funds and budget 190, I can keep 190 in general to use for anybody, anywhere. And I'm not asking to empty out his accounts at all, but like here, same thing. You had 47 and you paid out 20,000 and you now are sitting at 30 or 40,000 again.
Okay, what's your question? You have a question. Don't play that.
He's trying to figure out how to ask it, what he's trying to do.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't want to.
I don't know, my
I'm
brain's
not
already
trying to
fried.
bankrupt
We're not
in
even
any way,
launched
shape,
yet.
or form. And I understand Zach's.
I'm sure
theory.
willing to spend him down.
What's Zach's theory? I mean, Zach-
You know-
Fair only comes around once a year and you get a hot dog.
Sometimes I get a balloon, but okay.
Either
Like
way.
cotton candy.
So I don't use the word fair anymore.
Well, it's not about fair or
I'm
not
trying to
fair.
be
It's about, let's
reasonable.
use all the funds available to us.
That's where I'm at.
I mean,
right
as a
now.
county, not as even a department, well, let's use all the funds available. And if the probation department or any other department, I'm not picking on probation at all, but this just happens to be one that came up in our budget meetings. But if probation has a fee that's just sitting there, why not? And, but the auditor needs another part-time person to help deal with all this, crap that's going on.
Well,
Why would we not help the county?
Well,
It would leave
guys,
it in
we're
general.
fixing to take out a huge bond
If we have, I don't know, we got the vote.
to make up all these shortfalls. And I would have been way more comfortable if we could have had the budget done before I vote to take out a bond, to know I've cut everything I can cut. I've used every dollar that's available to me to use. I understand, guys, it's not, if you take 190 this year, he might not have 190 to give next year. I'll deal with next year. But I cannot in good conscience leave, exactly where I was at with Nick. I can't leave a big chunk of money and put more money into it and then go borrow the money.
Well, and I think it's laudable, but every year, so that this is the third year I've done budgets with you. And every year not with you personally, but I mean, all of us, every year we cut as much as we can,
Absolutely.
but then look at the additional appropriations. And I understand there's some sense to that because then people just ask for what they need, but it also creates a frustration. It creates publishing costs, it costs opportunity cost and manpower cost to do all of those. So I think like what Judge Mount was just saying, we take it and we say, okay, we didn't need it in travel, so we're gonna move the extra 1,500 we didn't use to a different line, and then you just cut the line. I mean, there's gotta be some sense too. We can't cut everything, but we're at the position where we're gonna be bankrupt if we don't cut as much as we can. So we're sort of, our hands are tied. We're in a no-win situation here.
I go back to what Jason Stemler said, well, at that time it would have been right there. And he looked at every one of us and he said, you either cut spending or you raise taxes. That's your two choices.
Or a moderation of both, I think.
And we've not cut the spending the way we should have cut the spending.
Well, I think this body's tried to cut the spending.
We've tried, we've made some great strides. But when you have a department that overspends $2 or $3 million like it ain't nothing, takes up every little bitty account that you had that could have got us through all this, we're forced into a corner right now, and we're going to have to take out a bond. What I'm not comfortable with is we're going to take out a $6 million bond, or we're going to take out a $3 million bond, and we're going to be making this choice probably Tuesday, and we haven't cut what we can cut from budgets.
I get what you're saying, but ultimately that's gonna be up to this body.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the power to do that, and I think that's what you guys don't
We've cut
understand.
everything. We just got to figure out a few things to change the money around. The highway department's a big thing we've got to figure out, but that doesn't go in the general or none of the lists. And the recovery court, we've already asked Judge Matt about that. Now the probation, if you put that money back, use that money, that's gonna put maybe an extra $150,000 back in general. But yet, in the end of the day, $750,000 ain't gonna run this county.
Let me ask
Without
this,
additional appropriations.
would it be fair to say for 2026 only, would you be willing to, out of the one that you generally give 110, give us a budget, he has 190 in it right now. Give it a budgeted number for 140. And then we move back in 2070 or 110. You'd be good with that? And then we go through each of these and we send in that email, this is kind of what we're looking for. You spend 140.
I'm just for everybody trying to help what they can help.
I agree.
And I'm sure as hell not seeing that. I'm not. Brittany you know, the questions I had Saturday that she was, thank God, able to just answer, and we didn't have to cut her to the quick. I was worried to death about what she was
I'm glad
doing
we
out
did.
there, but now I'm not. She'll be fine. I think if there's money laying there that's usable, we should be using it.
And that's why I'm asking, the 190 that's available, generally, he returns.
We just need to ask him to
110.
do what he can do. Do what you can do,
And see where we land.
and just,
Or
Well, I
just
think
put
if you have
number
it, no, I think
Put a
if you,
number on it.
I think if you have an expectation, then you should probably voice that to Scott and say, you know, you currently have 190,000 in there. You're reimbursing 110,000 a year. We would like you to see you, whatever you're reimbursing, just come straight out of that and use the
Somebody
110.
wanna call him to see if he's willing to come down here? When we talk about it.
I don't have his number.
I don't either.
Plus, I don't think he wants to talk.
Do you wanna do that?
I won't have his number.
I'll get it.
Do you want me to go upstairs and see if he's up there?
I don't know, guys. I just, if there's,
I understand about wanting having a budget, but I want you to understand your power is the power of the purse. You have the right to say, I'm not going to approve that budget. Now, will it probably put us, Kinley's probably over there cringing because it'll put us in straits with, you know, when our timelines and when we have to get things to the DLGF. But ultimately, it's your responsibility that the budget is the way it's supposed to be. So I understand wanting to have some certain budget, but this has been a very big process because
So-
systemically, it's just not done the right way.
Here's my two options. Number one, we come up with numbers, I can send in an email telling him we expect budgeted this much numbers.
Is he not
Or
watching?
number
Do we not
two-
have a watch party going on?
I don't know. He would probably come here if he did, I guess. If you're watching, come on down there. Number two option is I can get his phone number and call him or go up there and ask him to come down here and we just sit and say, look, we're going to budget these accounts.
We would prefer you tell us the best way to.
Tell us how you want it, or we're gonna budget it for you, which is the same option we said we were gonna give to Brittany. We thought we were gonna have to cut her, and we said,
drastically.
let you come in here and work with us to determine cuts, or we're gonna do it. So,
I'm
which way,
glad, I'm really glad she came.
I am too. Which way do we wanna go? You wanna go see if he's got time to talk, or I honestly don't know. Is he upstairs or down? I don't remember. Either way, I don't care to go find him, come here, or send him an email saying this is what.
Judge said he wasn't.
Well, we're not.
Judge is not here.
We're not planning on meeting again for what, 2 more weeks
Something
now?
like that.
So it doesn't matter. We're not gonna know what he's gonna wanna do until after,
I was gonna say, is that him?
Tell him,
after that bond mess anyhow.
I'm in a meeting. You all right?
So,
All right, I'll look at it.
What do you need, Johnny?
All right.
What do you need?
I'll just make sure we spend every dime we've got to spend. I just,
And spend it appropriately. Yes.
that's, I don't wanna take out a $6 million bond if I can get by with a $3 million bond. Now, I don't mind,
If we take it out, can we?
it would take an absolute idiot at this point not to see that we need the bond. We're gonna have to do the bond. We know that.
But if we get the money and we see we don't need it, can we not just give it back, pay it back?
No, it don't work that
It
way.
don't.
You would be out the fees, but also that's my concern of if you just, like the conversation's been had, why don't you just get what you have to get through the year? Well,
It's
then if
the
you
next
turn
2 or
around
3
and
years.
get through this year, but then 26, you need a bond, you have to redo all of these fees and stuff that we're paying.
I thought we was pretty much getting the bond just so we could cover the sheriffs.
And that's the
And
plan.
it will go into it goes into a separate bond fund and it has to be, we had to do judgment bonds, so we could use it for the sheriff's operating cost. So yes, that would pay for the
That'll
sheriff's
free up
budget and
money
then all the fees
in
for the
budgets
bonds
for
and
the
the
next
attorneys and all
couple of
that
years.
crap.
That's the only reason I thought we were really having to do it.
Yes.
Because
That is.
I think too, what really scares me more than the general fund is that special purpose fund
Yes, exactly.
is zero. How are you gonna run the jail? What if there's an emergency in the jail?
Well, what
like
about the
you-
bond payment? That's gonna
And you're
be,
supposed to keep so many
Yeah,
of them, or
exactly.
they renege on that. And he told us the other night that you can't even touch that rate that it's at right now. So
No.
if the bond people people see that you're at an astronomical rate, they're gonna start doing what they're doing with all the mortgage companies right now, sending you hey, well, the minute you're found in default,
Yeah.
act on it, because you're losing money where you could be growing. So I don't think you get a bond that's outlandish that you don't need, but I think you reel it into exactly what we need to get us through a little bit of time, which would be using that sheriff's budget, freeing it up, because where he overspent so much in 24, that's all of our reserves gone. And that's pretty much what you're having is with the insurance crisis we have.
That's another
You know,
thing that worries.
something hits, you have no way to get money right now to pay it. And we all know, we've been told, and we're having a meeting tonight on insurance, but if there was a claim and we don't have the funds available to pay it, you don't get nowhere near the same rate of claim. That claim changes drastically because we would have to wait, 3 to 6 months to get a bond to pay a claim. Then you have to pay all these fees and all this stuff again to do it. So
We're backed hard into a corner, guys,
we are, I agree with
and,
you.
I just wanna use everything anybody's got available to use. It's just that simple.
Well, I mean, I'm saying though.
We're gonna end up taking out a bond that is a max we can take out. I'll be the first one to just say that out loud, whether you like it or not. That's where we're gonna be at.
But just what you're saying though, even if Scott does that, that's still gonna add another 150,000 back to the general. I mean, everything else we've already done in the workshop.
Yeah, but if he adds 150 and we find another 50 somewhere else,
Well, I know.
pretty soon we're in a better position,
I
right?
know we've been in position, but we've been in position for 26, 27, 28, not knowing what's going to come into this county. So I mean, you gotta look at the future too.
I think it's definitely.
Add Senate Bill 1 to the list of worries going here, Heather.
It's definitely two separate uncombined causes here or problems.
It's easy, so
Yeah, we have-
no funds.
Yeah. If we can find a way to use them.
Yes, exactly, 100%.
And
I
I think,
really
I think that's doing our homework though, and that's digging in, and that's looking at everything as sharply as we can and not just saying, okay, yeah, take it, and then we'll take a bond to pay it. We're actually saying, we're keeping you to brass tacks here, and you gotta understand we don't have it. And even if we get a bond, I don't think you run out and spend it. You gotta use it wisely too, because that's the reserves that have been spent up in our county is gone, and we have to use that to fund like this bucket so we can take this bucket and do things.
I mean, in the last 2 to 3 years, how much money do you think we've used out of our reserves? At least 3 million, if not
At
more,
least.
if not more, that we should have right now today.
Yeah.
And overspending, just been,
It's been out of this world, and some of it is.
Well, it's hard to get a handle on it too, just because of the way the accounting system has been done.
that's exactly right.
And if we budget better this year, it's gonna be easier. And Jennifer, if we don't have line transfers and we're budgeting every damn fund that we have,
And I feel
it's
like-
gonna be much more transparent. But we're all sitting here going, we don't know what the answer is because we don't have a good record.
And I do feel, I don't know what this board feels like, but I do feel like we need to be a part of every additional appropriation. It needs to come through us where it gets done.
Yeah.
I do.
We're to that point
We're
right
gonna
now,
have to,
that,
we're gonna have to.
no transfer, nothing.
Because if not, that bond will be gone within a year or 2 years. So.
Well, there's gonna be there's rules with the bond of what it can be used
Well, I
for,
know
so.
that.
But you're right. No, I get it. I get the trust kind of thing, but yeah, I think that's probably, I talked to JR a lot and I talked to Johnny a little bit just about my frustration. And I think I've voiced some of them today that, sometimes I feel like I'm the only one yelling here that I just want things done right. Like, I just want it done. So my clients, you're my clients, you have the financial authority, you're the fiscal body. You should be the one that, and not only that, but it protects everybody in this county. We have a paper trail of how something went somewhere. We know why that line is $3,000
And there's
over.
been many times that I've said, and I meant it. I feel like it's pointless to be a councilman in this county because by the time it gets to us to vote on, you're backed in a corner where it's either you do this or you default on this.
Yeah.
But,
It's an ultimatum.
but we're giving everybody else what authority we have.
I agree.
We
What's
just,
that?
It's either-
well, we just called Judge Mount
Already on order.
and gonna call Scott Poole to tell us how much of his money.
We're not asking to tell us how
It's-
much.
it's
Ultimately, it's up to you.
It's not their money,
But we're,
No, I agree.
you know.
I
we
agree
need
with
to look
that.
to see how much they've got, and that's close to what we need to be budgeting, just like.
But he's gotta do the budget, we can't do this.
I think it's
Well, we can't, we legally can do his budget, but what I'm saying is, it's better for him, I would rather him tell us what buckets he wants to come out of where. Because he's the department head, he knows how to run his department, he's never done those before, and I get it, give him the opportunity. But you're right, it's not their money, I don't care if it comes from property tax fund, income tax fund, user fees, it's all taxpayer money
But
that you're responsible for
what
appropriating.
he said, that the way that's always been done, he said that.
I'm tired of hearing that, I'm tired of hearing that.
That's what he said.
Me too.
Really tired of hearing that, I mean.
Oh, I know, I have to. But I'm saying-
It's like coming into my office and saying, well, Google lawyer says this, get that. It's like, I think we're past the point. I've been the attorney for 3 years. I feel like I've been saying the same words for 3 years. This is not the way it should be done. Let's do it right. So we're at dire straits now and we're gonna have to change it.
Oh, keep
So what do we wanna do on this? You wanna send an email or you wanna in person?
Up to you guys, do whatever you wanna do.
I don't know if you can hear today or not, you guys.
Well, I would think that if he was here, he'd probably be watching the live stream and be down here, honestly, but I don't mind going up and seeing if he's up there.
Or
I'll go run up there. Let me just run up there.
How about that? And then if it's not, then we'll draft an email.
And I'm like,
We're budgeting everything they need. We're giving them office supplies, we're giving them, I don't understand why, every other department, they get what they get in their budget. They don't have
Yes,
$100,000.
I think upstairs.
They don't have $100,000 bucket sitting there.
well, some of them does, but we can't touch them. That's the hard part about that too.
I think we need to look at every single dollar that's available to us, and that's what we need to be using before we go borrowing more.
I know you say that, but I think we've already done that, except for the probation, and the ones that we said we can't do now, was recovery court until they figure out what they're gonna do there, and then the highway department. Until we figure out highway department, that's gotta be figured out, but that's not taking nothing from the general lit. I mean, that's where we're
That's
at.
just an accounting problem to figure out there. That's,
So they can know that's right, and though that number doesn't change this number.
Hey, one other thing that while we're waiting, I'll talk about. I'm gonna email you guys this so you have it, but something I've been working on that I'm gonna bring up on Tuesday and hopefully ask for your all's vote on is bringing in what's called a Scott County Council Youth Advisor, and it's a senior from high school. Probably open it up to Scottsburg schools this year, and then hopefully we can expand it maybe to Austin as well once we have more room for next year. But it has to be at least a 17-year-old senior that's in high school, a county resident of 1 year, and they would come in here and be a voice for the youth of this county. I've all along, since I ran for office, thought that the youth is a huge portion of our county and we need to pour into them. So this would allow them to come in here and sit and talk on topics that affect youth or that they're passionate about. They don't get to vote. That's obviously in state law. That is for a elected official only, but they would have the opportunity to sit and be involved. And it would grow them, whoever we choose it to be, as within our county. They would have to give us a letter of interest of why they want to serve, how they're qualified to serve, and then have 2 letters of reference from a school teacher, a counselor, a coach, or a volunteer outside of
We
it.
used to have that sort of a general election, if somebody.
I think they did.
Somebody in high school always.
Another municipality that I know has this and they work on it.
He's in a conference at
But-
French Lip, so he's not in.
Okay. It is a volunteer position, but they would receive a letter of recommendation to sign by all of us for doing it, as well as a travel stipend that is provided to us by our local state rep currently, Zach Payne. It would offset any travel costs for them or their family to get them here. Additionally, they would get a $500 4-year scholarship that's awarded to them from Indiana University for their leadership skills and to allow them into a college program whenever they're done. there's no money from the county for this. It would all be taken care of in this program. They would be required to come to the council meeting, sit with us, that be here and just represent the youth of our community and, speak on things that we have going on.
Almost like a mentorship.
Still teach government in high school where they,
Think
Yeah, I
so.
don't know.
I think they do.
Yes, they do. They're required to take them.
you know, say, there you go.
I have the money from Representative Payne ready to go. I just need to tell him about how we need to get it. So I know we went through deleting funds, but I think we would have to create a fund to put money in to spend it out of for them. And then, we determine a cost, maybe $50 a meeting or something is kind of what I got in mind, just to cover their gas. food, and
What more than we make?
I was thinking on the way here, that you guys should probably pay hourly.
But I think my belief is we instill in the community and the youth, and that's the future of Scott County. And
Well,
I
and
think
if they see how everything works is the thing.
And I think it would keep us a little more professional too, because it would keep us.
Just like I've told people before, getting into this, I never thought it would be anything like this.
Right.
I said it's been like getting politics through a fire hose
Right.
because all the
And-
stuff we've,
And I know you do a lot with 4-H and stuff, and it's kind of along those same lines, like you taking people, a youth who's getting ready to graduate high school and step out into this world and give them a little bit of guidance. Hopefully will
Right.
keep them away from you.
well, lets them know what's going on in the
Good
community.
thing.
But I think it's a great program, and
I do too.
I hope, everybody would support it, but I want you to see it before I just throw it on you in a meeting, and that's why I wanted to take a minute to cover it, and then I plan to
I think it'd be a great program
email
myself.
this to everybody, so that you guys.
Nothing else, we're tricking some new kids into being councilmen.
No, what you're doing is you're discouraging, sort of like giving the kid the doll in high school that cries all the time. That's what you're doing. It's almost like a prophylactic.
Anyway, that's coming your way. If you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Sorry, I didn't mean to use big words on.
I added on to our email while you were gone, just in case he wasn't there,
Uh-huh.
that our expectations for these funds are to utilize as much of the money as we can to free up some general funds for this 1 year above the normal reimbursement amounts. Please try to utilize as much of them as you can. Thanks. Does that sound fair? Send the email.
If you can do all 190, that's great. But like I say, I'm not done.
I would,
We gotta have as much money as we can, like all these other funds.
mhm.
We need to figure that out. But yet, we're not gonna be able to figure all that out until after the meeting for.
Well, I think maybe give them a deadline too and say, we're looking for this information in the next, we understand you're at a conference today, but if you can get it to us by the 19th, is that when you want it? What time are you meeting on the 19th? Like all day that day? Cause I got an early flight and then I meet with a realtor, but I mean, I could Google
What we
in.
buying?
Huh?
What we buying?
Place in the Caymans.
We're retired. Heather's retiring. Heather has to give Todd, I told you, like when I needed a new car, I gotta start talking about it with Todd like a year and a half in advance to get his feet moving. So now he's decided he is gonna retire at 62, which is in 3 years.
All
So
right.
I'm like, we can't just
So
go
what
one
are we
place a year.
what are we putting for a date on this?
Do you wanna do the 19th or you want it by the 19th?
Y'all, if y'all gonna, you don't have to cancel the meeting next week because I won't be here. If everybody's gonna be here, I don't care. And I'm sorry, I just got plans, but Johnny said he's not meeting on Saturday now.
19th.
19th.
If you want to meet earlier to get some of this done and finish it, I mean, you guys have already went through numbers. I would like to see everything.
And I'll meet up with you anytime you want, John.
Well, you know, most,
Or if you wanna leave one of these two out and another one come, we can redo another. I have an office at my house we can meet in if you wanna do that. I
I'm
just
good
can't
on
have one
Saturdays.
before.
I'm just saying the sooner we can get it done, the better.
yeah,
Because we're gonna have, everything's gonna be deadline and I don't want to put that doctor's office in a,
everybody has.
A crunch
money.
is-
Halloween that night.
but I'd like to know what's in the funds so that we can take out of them if we need to as well.
So do we wanna say, what date do you want me to put on this?
Well, what, Kenley,
Guys, I'll be here.
when can you have us an amount of all the funds that we were talking about, what's in them and what we can use them for?
What's our meeting Tuesday?
Yeah.
I can work on that. I mean, it's just what's in them is just a fun one.
Finding all the ordinances is gonna be the tough. thing.
Well, that's what
I think if we-
but doesn't she need to do that for us?
What funds we actually have. to try to match them up with a
Give me
statute.
Monday afternoon, after 5 o'clock meeting. I'll be here, I can be here, but I'd like to see what we can
I
do.
don't know if that gives him much time to generate 3 budgets by Monday, though. It's probably, if he's in a thing today, you can't really expect him to work Saturday and Sunday, in my opinion. I know we
I
do,
do.
but I can't force someone else to, that's salary.
Well, don't force him to, just tell him if he ain't got time to do it, I'll do it for him.
Well, I
That's a
think
joke.
I totally get that, and it's totally within your rights to budget it if you want to, but I also think that I would like, this is change, you know, what I said to Jennifer is definitely true, people don't like change, and I think giving them a hand in it rather than just taking would go a long way to making sure it goes smoothly in the future. I think.
I would like to see the budget finalized no later than the 17th of October. That will give at least.
When does it have to be, what's the
Has to be by
deadline?
November 1st.
Okay,
But we have to have a 10-day advertisement, a public hearing, and a final vote on it.
well, that being said, because my calendar looks like poo-poo, until October, and so October I do have some, do we want to go ahead and block out anything for special meetings? We have our council meeting on the 14th. But are there any other days that we want, I mean, I know we have the half-day mediation on the 3rd, which is Friday. We could come back after that here. I don't expect it to take too long, because I got nothing.
So if we tell
I got all day the 7th.
probation to have these budgets done by the 19th, and we met then to finalize a lot of things, that would give us 2 weeks roughly to make sure we're good. And then say the 17th, we advertise for public hearing that day.
You want to do the public hearing on the 17th?
That sound fair? That gives us, I mean, from right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks to get all of this done. And I don't think we're too far off. I just think we all need
I just won't be here, I won't be
together.
here on the 12th or the 10th of October. 2 Fridays, I'll be gone.
Well, okay, well, that brings up to, what time are we doing the 17th? What time do you want to do the public hearing 17th first? So I can schedule myself out.
What time's better to do a public hearing? I mean, middle of the day or evening?
Doesn't matter, really.
Well, if you're gonna have people from different departments in here, like you did last time, you probably just have it at 9 o'clock and just go with it.
At 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock's the 17th.
That's public hearing. You'll have to have Jennifer advertise
Are
it.
you
Kinley,
good with that?
Kinley, I can never tell because you're turning the other way. Are you listening? Okay.
He said, no,
Are you like my kids? You're just like, I'm the white noise over there.
9 a.m.
Yeah. But then that also begs the question about the bond, and we won't probably know about that till
after 2.
Tuesday. But I mean, if we do the bond, we would have to then, we'll create we've got a fund and the appropriation of the fund, but then all of the sheriff's budget can be moved over and appropriated out of that fund.
Yeah.
And then you probably, I guess at what point, just to bring up back what JR said, not to belabor the bonus thing, but I think we are gonna hit a problem with keeping talent. I'm surprised we have any talent, honestly, with the way things have been. But
Well, we should,
when do we wanna make that? When do you guys wanna discuss that? Because that would have to be an
we
appropriation.
talked about that at the workshop, and I thought we had a pretty decent idea, but it probably needs to be brought to a public meeting and talked about, but
Well, it does, and that's why I was asking, do you wanna, we're gonna have to do an additional appropriation for those.
yes.
So, I mean, even if we did them in December, that'd be fine, but I don't want it to get lost in the publication
We
kinda.
talked about in the workshop between maybe November and December in that timeframe.
Okay.
I would like to have it out before like Thanksgiving, because a lot of people start Christmas shopping, and if there's a possibility of giving them a
Right.
lump sum payout, they can use
Which,
that to
the
offset
publication is just such the
home.
Cartersville Times, getting things published, and Jennifer had a lot on plate. I think she said that we didn't get any additional appropriations published for this month. So I just wanna make sure
So I think-
that we have plenty of time to get those.
I think if we do a public hearing on the budget on the 17th of October, we finalize it by the end of October, which we have to, we will know where we stand pretty closely. By then, October's done, you've only got November, December, we should be able to look what money we have, come up with a reasonable number that we know we could give. And in 25, it's not gonna be a huge number because there's only a small portion of people in the pool for this bonus. Some
The
people
people that
got
didn't get
raises,
raises.
some people got this other stuff. So it's a small portion of people that we would address. And some of those aren't even here. So I know I think of 2 right now that have already left. So we will narrow that number down and be able to stick a dollar amount to it. Problem is, if you come in high with a dollar amount, they're gonna expect that 26. So we need to be reasonable, I think, no matter the pool of people. But we should be able, I would like to get that done, maybe voted on by our November meeting, and then they could cut checks right after. And they could get it to them by the holiday. Does that sound right to you, Kenley?
Yeah.
That sounds
Sure
very
wasn't wrong.
promising, Miss Kenley.
What day are you talking about, meeting day?
So if we meet November, if we're gonna do, yeah, it's the 11th is our regular meeting, which is Veterans Day.
And my doctor, will be my last year, hopefully the heart doctor.
But if we approved payments on that,
That's what I
could we get them out within the next week? You think that'd be fine? Or before the 26th? That'd give you almost 2 weeks to get them done and cut and out to the people.
Yeah.
Because I think if you do a bonus, that has to be a paper check in the county, right? Yep, that's what I thought. All right. Circling back to probation, what's his deadline to get these budgets to us? 19th?
I say 19, and that's next day we're gonna meet. Don't need them till then.
So I put the 18th, that way we have them on the 19th. We don't, so have them at the auditor's office by 9/18/2025. If you have any questions, call someone else. Johnny White at 752-9080.
There you go. I'll explain it to them.
I had to look at the screen, I thought I'm typing my number. Whew. Not that I care, it's out there, whoever can find it. All right, that's sent. What's next we need to talk about? Anything at all?
Well, like I said, once again, the size for the probation, the recovery court and the highway, I really do feel like everything we did Saturday was, I thought we did the best we could. So I mean, it's just, but if you want me to, I mean, when it's not the meeting, I can leave, you know, I'll talk to John here about that tonight. Dave, there's no problem with me. I'm gonna be back here at 5 o'clock anyway.
I do.
So whatever y'all wanna do.
I'm up for whatever, I got a whole day for county business, at least that's what I'm told.
So you wanna do that, John?
What's that?
I said, I can leave and step out and shut, we close the meeting and step out and y'all can go over with John, we did Saturday.
Oh, it don't matter to me.
You
Not all
wanna do
day.
that? Come, you wanna do that?
I'm with me.
What we doing?
I just need to get our around 2.
Somebody's leaving and
We
what?
stop this meeting, please.
Kenley.
Yeah, I think we're done, we're gonna adjourn the meeting and we'll vote.
Sorry, I can never tell you, like, just look at the wall, and I'm like, is she hearing us, or is she rolling her eye? Do you do that because you're like me and your face talks louder than your mouth?